Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Urban Wine Club podcast. Today, we have a very special episode with two lovely ladies who are doing something so cool. And before we kind of get into that, I just want to turn it over to my co-host Foti Stamos. Hello, Foti.
Yes, Ari, thank you so much for the great introduction. As always, all of our podcast episodes have fun and interesting guests, and especially when they're in our, well, quote unquote, our backyard. This happens to be a little further than our backyard, but the local feel is still there. We've been discussing in the last episodes, wine, spirits, liqueurs, all this great stuff that we all enjoy. And lately, we've been discussing trends. And I came across a product that I was really taken away, and it was a matter of us getting it to our platform. So without further ado, I wanted to invite our guests who are representing Rhodium Distillery in Rhode Island with us. Kara and Cathy from Rhodium, thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you with us, and we're so excited about your products.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's exciting to have people excited about our products, actually. So it's a nice little thank you.
Well, you say that in a humble way, but you guys are doing some really cool things in a very cool manner. Foti, you were explaining to me, but can you kind of take us through and?
Yes. So real quickly, we get visited by plenty of suppliers and vendors who bring us great products. And lately we've been tasting a lot of gin from a lot of different suppliers. There's a lot of great products out there. And the specific gin that we tried at one of our tastings, I wasn't really paying attention because there's a lot going on in my head during these tastings. And as I was tasting this gin, something struck me and I had to pause for a second. And there was something about these aromas and flavors that I asked again, the individual that was presenting the lineup. And I said, like, where is this gin from? And they're like, Rhode Island. I'm like, Rhode Island? Rhode Island? And like, yes. And then I look at further and they discussed the whole story. And I was fascinated. I said, we need to have this product with us. And then I got in touch with Cathy, who introduced herself after they found out that we started carrying their product. And then we take it from there. But I don't want to explain all the details. We want to turn it over to Cathy and Kara to tell us a little bit about how this all started and the journey that it took you to get here today.
Well, it's the Forager's gin that they fell in love with.
Oh,
so
well, there you go.
So
You
like the center product there.
your first taste was kind of what exemplifies what we wanted to do with the company. So we started Rhode Island Spirits to make Rhodium brand spirits 2.5 years ago. And we really started out to be a gin distillery. We love gin. We love sort of the modern approach to using new flavors or locally sourced things or foraged ingredients and unusual botanicals. And we knew that we could really find some scope to play around with that kind of stuff in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And so the whole line of gins and vodkas and liqueurs started with, we should make gin.
Yep, gin's the problem.
Now, let me ask you this. Before you got into this, was there any formal training of distilling?
Well, no.
So something you fell upon.
So I've always been a forager. I've always felt sorry for that, fruit tree that was just dumping fruit on the ground to rot, or interesting botanicals that could make a tincture that would be lovely in a drink. And Kara has homebrewed, but that was it.
Okay.
And studied though with some friends. We did some interning and learned what we needed to know and jumped in.
So we did apprenticeships with a couple of distillers who made products that we really thought were exceptional. And, we wanted to learn how they did what they were doing. And then we also did a lot of reading. We did a lot of chatting with other distilleries. And
a lot of gin sampling.
Okay. That's the hardest part of the job.
Formal training.
But to me, it sounds like so much passion behind it, which for me goes the furthest. The passion, without that passion, you really don't have a great product. You don't really put that care and love into your product. And it sounds like that's what you guys were doing. And that's really cool to hear.
Cool. Thanks.
Well, and Cathy gets up, I mean, this is prime time of the year for probably the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Anytime I don't know where Cathy is, I'm going to check and see if the vehicle is out front, because she will just disappear and go foraging.
You got to get it when it's ready.
Yeah.
I walked in the other day and there were just pounds and pounds of rose petals just set out to dry. And it was such a wonderful aroma to walk into.
It was a bit oppressive.
It was kind of, but it was wonderful for the first couple of minutes, and then I had to open the windows. But our ability to find local flavors and botanicals that make really distinctive products helps us make something that is really truly of the place that we are. And I think that's part of what makes us so excited about using it, is that we can make something distinctive by going out and doing and gathering things that we really love.
Yeah, and there are things that we can then also source from farmers, and there are things that we can ask farmers to grow for us. So Lovage is going to come from a Samoquin farm, and I just spoke to Bill, the farmer from Southeast Massachusetts, who's growing angelica roots, and we'll be able to use those. Okay. So we like being able to not keep it local because that sounds trendy, but because we like keeping ourselves, our work, our money, our efforts local as well. And so, when we can hire out some of this and, get lavender from that farm and get apples from that farm, it just feels like we're a part of the local economy. And I think that's kind of important right now.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Absolutely. We're coming across more and more folks that are actually, it's all about that. It's all about the interchange between the growers, the farmers, the viticulturists, to the facility where they're actually producing, and then whatever might be left over, then it's either cycled or it's passed off to somewhere else where it can be used for something else.
The coffee beans go out to a farm and they go under their blueberry bushes when we're done with those for the coffee black walnut vodka. Oh. And the citrus that's spent from either the limoncello or the grapefruitcello goes and feeds the pigs. So
oh my God.
There you go.
We aren't 100% green because that's not really possible.
We're not even doing it just for green reasons. It's just the easiest way to get rid of it.
Well, you guys laugh, right? But I mean, it truly is. It is the best way to do things, in my opinion. I think we're coming in a full circle here where things used to be green and used to be local because there was no other choice, kind of those pre-industrial days. And then we kind of got to a point over the years where we were going far out and doing all these things. And now by choice, it's coming back. But the less it becomes trendy and the more it becomes the norm, I think that's going to be a great time for this to be standard, this to be the way it's done. And you guys are kind of right there at the forefront, which is an amazing thing and appreciated as a consumer. I appreciate those efforts.
And I think, for us as a small company, when we were starting out, we knew we would be using a lot of water and we needed it to be good, clean, consistent water. And we could have called one of the big national companies and had them truck it in from Maine or Pennsylvania or whatever. But we also, for probably a lot less money, at least, after the first year or so, we could put in a small reverse osmosis system and just clean up the municipal water, give it a polish and a purification. And that's what we've been doing for years. And it's a short supply chain, from the tap through this reverse osmosis system and into our stuff. And we actually had, it's on the top of my mind because the RO system went on the fritz this week, but there's a brewery the other side of town that takes the same approach. They have a big carbon filtration system because they have to use a lot of, water in their beer and they don't want to truck it in either. So I literally took a 200-gallon tote over to the brewery. They filled it up with their water and I drove it back across town. That's how far we ship water.
Great.
But that's also indicative, I think, of the industry, that we've had really great support and in turn, really supportive and excited to promote other people's local products. Yeah. So we've been to distilleries and wineries and breweries, and it's been a great cross-pollination. And we're kind of in this together.
Yes. Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. We love to hear that. And we're definitely supporting you as well, because we always want to support the people that we believe in, because they're doing great things, not for just, the industry, but for the environment, right?
We wanted to mention, actually, we are New England's only LGBTQ identified spirits brand.
Awesome.
Wow.
This is Pride Month right now, and it's really amazing how wonderful that has served the community. Actually, there's a guy who told me about a program that we should apply for, and he was kind of aggressive about it. I'm like, well, yeah. And before I could ask, he said, so you want to know why I'm so aggressive about sharing this with you? He said, my son is gay, and you guys are doing something that's really great. It's successful, and I want him to see that. And so
Excellent.
if anything I can do to help him see that this is a way of the world, then I'm going to do that. And I thought that was a very interesting approach.
Yeah.
Well, and we have a lot of customers who feel like us being out is an important part of the brand. We make a great product, and we don't just slap a rainbow on it to, make money in Pride Month. This is what we do. We're married and we work together, and, we contribute to gay causes. We support allied politicians and do fundraising and stuff. But really, at the end of the day, it's just us. And, we have customers who buy our bottles to give to their gay children, their cousins, their aunts, their uncles. I mean, they like having a product that is fantastic in and of itself, but also, strongly identifies with that community.
This is a conversation that we could take in so many ways, but coming out of the last few years, I really love that I'm hearing this, and I hope brighter, better days ahead for all, because I was a little naive years ago. I thought everybody was kind of like on the level and everything was great and everybody was happy, and I really didn't realize that there's a large piece of us that just aren't. And I was just, the last 4 years made me realize, my God, I've been like living with blinders on, and I hope those days are behind us, and I hope more people such as yourselves are doing great things, and they can identify with who they are as people, the great products that they put together. They're doing it in a that trendy but awesome, like sustainable local way, and it sounds perfect to me.
Cool. I wanted to speak a little to the product that's currently on your website too, and that's the Forager's gin. It took us a while to come up with the name, which it was right there in front of us, but it's classic. Cathy's gin is just silly, so we don't do that. But about a third of the ingredients, and it's our largest botanical bill, are all locally foraged ingredients. And there's one that if we get really, really busy, I can't find anywhere else. So I have to make sure I get it in the freezer at the proper time of year. But it's in that new world of botanical forward gins. There's an interesting aroma. There's a number of flowers on the top, but you're going to find a different spice in the middle there, some clove and some fennel. We use some sumac, not the poisonous one. We know what it. And entertainingly, we have been using only Fever Tree products in our distillery tasting room.
Right on.
For our drinks, and specifically we use the elderflower tonic by Fever Tree and their Indian bitter, their traditional one. And people want the recipe for our gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic.
Take Forager's gin, take tonic mix. If you're feeling fancy, but slice an orange in there and call it a day. But
man,
the number of times people ask for that recipe, it's kind of funny. But yay.
But I think at the end of the day, we make things that are full of flavor and that really stand up to anything. We're very picky about our gin. We're very picky about our vodka. We make stuff that we wouldn't make it if we didn't feel we were improving on what was already out there. And so even our vodka, it's distilled 6 times and charcoal filtered, but the 7th distillation we do with some local apples in the still. We don't want an apple flavored vodka, but having apples in that last distillation
We're in a
actually what's
distillery.
going on right now.
Okay.
But having the apples in the still gives the vodka a super, super smooth finish and a really bright taste. And it doesn't taste particularly fruity, but it's just a lovely, crisp,
Viscosity, nice,
really
nice
fresh vodka
silky,
flavor.
silky mouth.
And what is the base of the vodka?
Everything we do is on a corn spirit, so naturally
Okay.
gluten-free, because corn never had gluten to begin with.
Good point.
And should we answer that again?
Sure. No problem.
Our production coordinator is cleaning for tomorrow's vodka run, actually. So stuff's moving around. So what are our spirits are on corn? We're working with a base product that we get that is 6 times distilled, charcoal filtered, non-GMO, organic, gluten-free, all of that. And we go from there.
Awesome.
And it was most expedient and efficient and cost effective for us to start with a base spirit. Gin is, if you look at how gin is made, it's working with something that is clean and pure and stripped down so that the botanicals can then shine and take over from there. So we were in our 50s. We didn't want to do a lot of fermentation. I want to forage with my time. So we're working with a product that's excellent and really affordable, and then we go from there.
Well, and we just needed really a premium, perfectly consistent base
Consistency. Yeah.
that we can then build flavors on top of. So it gives us a great start. And it means that we can sell a product that's as flavorful and as great as we can make it and still have it be affordable.
Yeah.
So
That's
one
great.
of the things that we looked at is if we actually started buying corn locally and then went all the way through the process, we would have to cut corners and we'd still be 2 or 3 times the price we are now at the end of the process.
Oh,
So,
wow.
we really like having the ability to do something that is premium, has all the sort of gluten-free and organic properties that people really like to have. But it's also something that if you like it, you can have it at your home bar regularly because it's not at a super premium price.
Excellent. So we were introduced to you through your lovely gin. Now we're learning that you also make vodka, but I think that you also make liqueurs too. Is that correct?
We do. We have a limoncello and a grapefruit cello. The limoncello we started making because the people we trained with said, you have to make limoncello. We said, okay, what's limoncello? I tried it, didn't like it. And so what we went for is a limoncello that met the objections. It's not too sweet. It's not harshly alcoholic. It's nicely balanced. And it's not chemical. It's using only the 4 ingredients: zest, alcohol, sugar, and water. And it's a little lighter so that it doesn't tip a cocktail out of balance. So bartenders like it because neither the alcohol or the sugar content's too high. It's just a lovely, bright, fresh flavor. The grapefruit was an accident because we use, I'm always messing about, we use pink grapefruit in one of our cocktails with the Forager's gin, actually, the Rosemary Greyhound, which you'll find on our website.
Oh,
And with all this grapefruit juice that we were getting fresh, there the zests, the skins were like, I wonder what'll happen if. And so we tried it and people loved it. So now
it's a better product than the limoncello is fine, but the grapefruit cello is stellar.
I think so
Oh,
too.
I don't think I've ever had grapefruit or
Yeah.
grapefruit jello.
No,
There are companies that make it, but
It's delish.
we'll get you a bottle one of these.
May I ask, is it available for us in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's good to know.
Things that are not available in Massachusetts later, some other day.
We also do, I think the liqueurs and the flavored vodkas are, again, a real demonstration of the way we want to make products. They're full of real things that give them great flavor. We keep the sugar down as low as possible. We do a coffee and walnut flavored vodka. We work with a coffee company here in town. They source really great beans that decaffeinate for us. So it's a decaf
And
coffee
they
vodka.
do it with the water process, so it's not chemically done.
And then Cathy goes and forages black walnuts, literally from trees. I can see some of them from here. And so it's like these great local ingredients that we can put together and make a flavored vodka that doesn't taste like anybody else's flavored vodka. It's rich, it's complex, it's not overly sweet. We we like to be able to put as much flavor into things as we can. And at a certain point, sugar starts obscuring other flavors.
Sure.
So we want it to have a bit of a bright sweetness, but really let everything else shine.
Excellent.
Wow.
Anything else that you can share with us that's in the pipeline for your distillery?
Well,
Any
so
breaking news you want to share?
airs, I think we can, would this air before July?
I
Most
mean,
definitely.
yeah, it will, unless, there's a
We could wait.
reason you want us to
And
hold
so
up.
that way I can frame the answer properly. So at the time of this recording, I'm not able to tell you about a new product that's coming out.
Okay.
It is a bespoke gin, which is just so exciting to me. It was really fun to sit down with this company and pull out of them what they wanted to do with it, the why of it, and then go to the back and start concocting and pulling botanicals and too much of that, not enough of this, and then offering them a really lovely bespoke gin that will be available in the distillery and in Rhode Island at their restaurant group, but nowhere else. So that's kind of cool.
Well, at their Massachusetts properties as well.
And hopefully in Mass, they're going to
Yeah.
start in Rhode Island.
Oh, wow.
So they asked us for a gin that would be especially good in Negronis.
Yeah.
So keep your eye open if you see a Rhodium bottle with a big dot on it that has a
Mhm.
restaurant's name.
Mhm.
That'll be our new gin.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay.
Can you
Cool.
share? We're going to share this regardless, but can you just tell our listeners and our viewers your website, any social media, anything you want to share that people could follow and contact you?
So the website is rispirits.com. And our social media is all under RI Spirits as well. That's the company name. But what you'll see on the shelf is the brand name of Rhodium.
Rhodium.
But we set up the social media before we actually have built out the brand. So everything is still RI Spirits.
Nice. Do you also, by any chance, can people visit the distillery? Do you do any open houses or?
We're filming from just in front of the bar in the tasting room. And what you can't see right over there, if you get to the window and look immediately down, is the river. We're on the Blackstone River. And
Wow.
we're in a basement of a mill that used to do some textile stuff. And if you look at our branding, our labels are very interestingly textured for a particular fabric or textile, which is kind of fun, a nod to Slater Mill, which is one bridge over there.
Yeah.
And
So we've actually got a big airy space with skylights and lots of room,
Yeah.
and we are open to the public Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We do sample flights of all of our products, plus a cocktail list that's custom. We made them all up or adjusted them to really highlight our spirits. And people really love it here, and we love meeting people and talking to them and introducing our products. So it's a really nice, comfy space, and hopefully we'll see you down here sometime soon.
Absolutely. Now that things are opening up and we can definitely get out there and enjoy ourselves like we once used to. We kind of forgot what that was like, but in any event, thank you so much. Ari, let our folks know that they can constantly find the Forage Gin on our website on urbanwineclub.co. We ship all around the country. I'm sure that if you want to take a nice ride down to the distillery, you can buy it there as well, obviously, right? Any last minute thoughts before we sign off?
No, what makes me happy about this conversation is that it's the circle kind of rises together here. Local companies working with local companies and just highlighting what people do well. And we are asked all the time, do you ship? We cannot due to our license, but we'll be sending them your way.
We would love that. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
To complete the circle.
It was so nice listening to you guys, listening to what you do, and very, very impressive. And your products are amazing. Everybody out there, you got to check it out. Get online, get down to the distillery, go wherever you could find the Rhodium product and try it. You won't be disappointed. Again, we want to thank both of you so much for your time. We know you're busy, and thank you for being with us. Thank you, Foti, as always. Thanks everybody out there for watching, listening. You can find all the information in the notes in the video and the podcast. And thanks once again, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you,
Take care.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.